Today we bring you one of the most insane woke policies inside the British civil service. Yes, this happens when you combine the woke identity politics on steroid with victimhood mentality. Yes, this is about spending thousands, hundreds of thousands of British taxpayers' money on trainings for microaggression. Now, some of you might say, well, yeah, we already know they do these woke trainings, but this one is a little bit weird. This was actually reported by The Times. Rolling your eyes is a microaggression. Civil servants have been told. More than £160,000 been spent by the government since 2021 hiring consultants to train staff to see perceived slights. It's getting weird now. Now, the main reason is because this is a so-called conservative government. It's not even a socialist government. It's not even Labour or Lib Dems. Well, it is con-socialist, you could say probably these days instead of conservative, but it's absolutely crazy. It's not just about the money being wasted. It's also completely damaging to society, trying to promote identity politics and, of course, promote victimhood culture and everything else that they say is woke, because you have to be woke and you have to be aware about the injustices in society. Yes, civil servants have been taught that rolling their eyes or looking at their mobile phones can be evidence of sexual or racial discrimination, and so have been trained to nod their heads to promote transparency and inclusion. Yeah, they're being encouraged to spot microaggressions. Now, this is completely insane. But it gets worse. The government body responsible for monitoring the value of spending in schools, the Education and Skills Funding Agency, spent more than £1,000 per worker on microaggressions trainings for a handful of staff. Now, forget about the fact that this is all nonsensical and just a waste of time. £1,000? How and why does it cost £1,000 per person for this training? It's because apart from the fact that we're in the middle of a culture war and everything else is about the fact that they want to infiltrate society, it's not just about that. It's also about having cash cow schemes. It's about making money. It's about taking advantage of this so-called woke modern culture. Now, this is absolutely crazy. A British woman of Indian descent complained that she was the victim of racial discrimination when bosses raised their eyebrows at each other while she was talking. She lost her case. Obviously, just because someone complains or thinks subjectively that something's happening doesn't mean it's true. Even if it's true, man up or woman up. The most enthusiastic branches of government have been the Department for Transport, TFT, which spent £64,807, and of course the Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, that also spent £61,776. Now, Berkshire Consultancy, which has been teaching staff from the CMA, claimed that such behaviour was specifically aimed at minorities to discriminate against them. Hang on, how can your facial expressions, your body language discriminate? Discrimination as an action requires, oh yeah, you guessed right, action. If someone actually decides to do something against you, when it's unfair, actually at that point, I personally don't care if they did it because of my skin color or because I don't like my face or maybe, they just don't like the way I walk. At that point, I focus on the fact that it's unjust and unfair. That's it. It's the same thing with bullies and those who say mean words, or even in schools when you're a kid or teenagers, let's just say. I don't really see a difference between someone trying to bully you verbally, saying something about your mother, or saying something about your skin color. It's just both nonsensical, irrational comments, and it's just verbal abuse anyway. So firstly, don't let words to get to you, but even if you're going to get offended by it, don't really class them differently. Everything is the same thing anyway. And the whole problem is that if somebody chooses, if your boss is trying to be a bad person against you, trying to be a mean bully, leave that company. Start your own business. If you can't, then go get a different job. And that's the whole issue that we're currently facing. Everybody wants to be a victim. They don't want to solve the problems. They don't want to tackle the bad bosses. They don't want to tackle the main issues. They just want to moan and moan and moan. That's what they want to do. Let me know what you think. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.